Okay, sure. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Paulette Jackson. Paulette C. Jackson is what I go by when I write. And actually, this book right here, which is being passed around right now, is my testimony. If you notice the way that and this was my idea, to have it structured that way, where test is right here and then Imoni is in parentheses, and I'll tell you why. And actually, this is my third published book. And I'm sorry that I don't have my other titles here, but this is the one that I had in my personal inventory that I can share with all of you today. My testimony, this is my latest, and again, this was released, what year are we in, 2023? 2021, I believe. Again, this is number 3, and let's just roll back a little bit. Technically, this is my 4th published book, and I'll explain that. My very first book was published through another company, still self-published. I had all rights, design and everything was my idea. However, the first publisher, I learned some things with that publisher, did not work out. And so I shifted and decided to look for another publisher for my next book, for book number 2, and was very pleased. They had everything that I was looking for. I did my research, of course. And so with that, I'm like, okay, they have everything I want, still self-published. I own all rights, creative control, which was very important to me when I was shopping around to be self-published. I wanted to retain those rights creatively, 100%. And they had a package for me that just really worked out for me. And so with this, my testimony, I structured the book. This book is about me. And I was kind of reluctant to write a book solely about me, even though the first book, just backtracking a little bit, was about my love and journey, but my love and journey and passion for the arts and entertainment since I was a child. And so that's what book number 1 was about. This one was more personal. And I was, again, reluctant because I said, nobody's going to really want to know about you. I mean, who would really want to know about you and your story? But I said, well, my story, my journey, hopefully will resonate with someone else that's reading it all over, just not here, just all over the country. And I structured the book in a way where it not only tells about my journey from young age till now, but parts of this book in the midst of writing, when the pandemic hit, I had to add that part of it and just how I felt and how I dealt with it and how it affected me. So that was like at the tail end of the book, I was like, I have to include this whole feeling about the pandemic, how that hits me and how it hit my family and that kind of thing. So that's included. And that was kind of like last minute again. And I structured the book in a way when people are reading each chapter, when they read each chapter, I structured it for notes in each chapter. As you'll see if it's passed around, there's notes on each chapter. That way the reader can, as they're reading each chapter, they can write down how it made them feel. Or is there anything in the chapters that resonates with their lives or their friends' lives? And can just kind of have this as a personal journal, not only a book that they can enjoy and can read and hopefully kind of take in and resonate with themselves, but use it as a personal journal. And this is, I think, the second book that I did that with, that I added the note lines. Again, it's just my journey from childhood to now. And my writing started actually when I was age 10, and I was a lyricist. As a lyricist at age 10, I was writing songs. That's how my writing began. Writing books and writing my own personal stories or just what I felt about certain things about arts and entertainment, my life, my friend's life, that didn't come until probably in my late 40s. And I'm now almost 55. And so that's how my writing began. And a friend of mine who also became a published author that I went to Cleveland School of the Arts with, he wrote a book and he was kind of my inspiration. And then a couple other authors, of course, Toni Morrison, And believe it or not, Sheila E., who is a percussionist, as most of you know who she is, she was here in Cleveland, and I got to meet her in person and get one of her books. And so all of that was an inspiration for me to start my own story. And really, it started with my friend. He's like, if I can tell a story, if I can write my journey and things I'm interested in, you have a lot to tell. And so you should think about writing a book. And that's really how it all began. I just wrote and wrote notebooks, pens, in the middle of the night, things would come to me and I would just write and write and write and write. And then later on, of course, make it pretty and format it and that kind of thing. But again, my writing was more lyrics and poems very early on at the age of 10. To the point where most of you who may be from Cleveland may know the group, the OJs. My brother, late brother, God rest his soul, he was a musician and writer, and he played with the OJs for many years. And I got to meet Mr. Euclid-Lyndhurst, who was one of the founding members, and he told him that I wrote lyrics. And I mean, at this time, I'm 13 years old. I'm sitting in front of this man and like, oh yeah, I hear you write. What? I'm 13 and this legend is talking to me about writing lyrics. So that's where the writing began. But again, me doing the book form and telling stories and that kind of thing didn't happen till way later in life. But to hold my first book in my hands in print, oh my God, am I crying? Okay. All right, so just to hold it in my hands, that first book, and just even to see the third one come into fruition for me it's just still, even to this day, just amazes me that I even got this far. And for me, self-publishing was a no-brainer because just doing the research with going traditional and self-publishing, I had to retain the rights. It's like that's not even up for negotiation. I have to retain the rights. I have to retain creative control over what I do. And so just self-publishing for me was just the way to go. Everybody's different. Everybody's different is what your needs are. If you're just starting out, if you're just writing book 2, everybody's needs are different. So I'm not knocking traditional publishing at all. It's just what you're looking for and what your needs are. For me, as a writer, as a creative, I know I needed control over what I did, over what I wrote, and I didn't want someone else to tell my story or to take the story that I wrote and interpret it in another way. And it wasn't what I felt. It wasn't what I wrote. So I didn't want that. So I made the decision to self-publish. And the company that I'm with now, I'm very, very pleased. They provide a lot of tools as far as marketing and just how to market and just kind of, I'm not going to say hold your hand like in a negative way, but they do help a lot with just consulting and so on and so forth, and just kind of, giving you the tools to just be successful, in what you put out. And I appreciate all of that because we can all learn. Even though, again, this is my third book, number 4 will be out probably later on this year, early part of next year. And so I'm very pleased about that. But I'm very, very happy with my testimony. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from people all over. And reviews help. They really do. So I've had a lot of great feedback, phone calls, messages, reviews on Amazon, so on and so forth. So all of that combined helps. But again, I never thought that I would be a published author. Never. That was never in my even my radar. But so happy and so proud to add this to my brand. And I still write lyrics. I still am a writer of lyrics. Music will always be my first love, but to be able to share my journey with someone else, and in hopes that it will help someone, that it will motivate someone, that it will inspire someone to know that if I can do it in my late 40s and still sitting here almost 55 and getting ready to publish my 4th book, that it's not too late. And then if I can do it, you can too. It's just a matter of starting. And I think that is the challenge maybe for most of us, is just getting started. It was for me. And then just all of a sudden you'll find yourself with a burst of just kind of different thoughts and everything that you want to share and write, and you'll just write. And I personally have consulted other people that want to write or thinking about writing, and just let them know, like, hey, keep a notebook, keep a pen, paper, whatever you need by you, because you don't ever know when that inspiration is going to hit you. Believe me, it can hit you in the middle of the night. And just be ready to write. Just be ready to, and you know, you can make it pretty later, but I think the important thing is to just be real and be true and be honest about what you want to share and what you want to write about. I don't think there's a right and wrong. And so that would be my advice. That would be my advice to anyone that's want to get ready or thinking about starting writing. Just write. It can be a poem, it can be a book, it can be a memoir, it can be a song. But in terms of just sharing your story, or sharing a friend's story, or just sharing stories of life, period, and or a passion that you have. Because for me, writing is not only therapeutic for me, it if I can inspire, if I can motivate one person to say, you know what, I've been procrastinating about this, I've been scared about this, I've been unsure about this, and I'm going to do it. And the worst thing you could do is to listen to other people. Seriously. Because everyone is not where you are, you know, in your heart, in your mindset, in your spirit. Everybody doesn't understand, and that's okay. However, you can't listen to that. If you have it in your heart, if you think about it at night, you wake up thinking about it, then you should do it. And so I am, again, very, very happy about this book, which is my latest again. And I would not even change a thing. I would not change a thing. I have learned a lot in this journey of writing and just working with different self-publishing companies. Learned a lot. And it's always good to do your research. And it's always good to, even though there's things in place when you self-publish, it's always good to have your own backup. And what I mean by that is I copywrote my own works, all of them. There's ways to do that. And I would urge all of you to research those ways. It's okay if you're going to self-publish, you're going to go through a publishing company or so on and so forth. They're going to protect you. They're going to do all that. But there's also a way to do it on your own as well. And I would encourage all of you to research and do that too, to protect your works. I did a video of my work. Every time I write a book, I do a video, saying what the title is, saying what it's about, and I date stamp it, and I save it, because that's backup for me. It's like, this is my work, this is my title, this is what it's about, and I created it. So that's just another way for me to protect my works as well, while, you know, in the process of doing getting it written, or not written, I'm sorry, getting in book form and doing the whole gamut. But that's just another way for me to protect my work. So that's pretty much my journey.